Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about why is it so hard to trust. So I want to cover a few key reasons here. We're going to go through 4 or 5 different things specifically. And I want you to understand that the conscious mind may want to trust, while the subconscious mind may have different priorities. And we know that the conscious mind can't outwill or overpower the subconscious mind. So if you find yourself in a position where you're like, I want to eat healthier and you're struggling, or I want to exercise more and you don't show up for those routines, or I want to read a book before bed each night and you find yourself not following through and watching television instead, or all these human experiences that people have that as someone who ran a very busy personal practice for the better part of a decade, like I saw all these things over and over again. That's just the war between your conscious and subconscious mind and your programming taking precedence. And all of these same things apply when it comes to trust. So we all have what I like to call an internal trust baseline. It's sort of like your pre-programming in its relationship to trust. So much of life is about a relationship. We have a relationship to our own body. We have a relationship to our own mind. We have a relationship to our career, to our area of money in our lives. We have a relationship to our friendship and family and romantic relationships. Everything's like its own relationship. We have our own relationship to trust. And if we have a lot of core wounds because we've had painful past experiences and we have extracted beliefs because of those experiences, we are constantly using our subconscious mind to project the past onto our present and future. In other words, if you were wounded in the past and someone betrayed your trust, you are highly likely to project onto another similar relationship. If it was a friend who betrayed your trust, let's say it was your best friend, you may find yourself, if you didn't go back in and reprogram and resolve that, fearing that your new best friend years later will betray you like that other old friend did. And so we're constantly projecting the past onto the present. It's just our subconscious mind trying to keep us safe. But when we can't reprogram these core wounds, we can get stuck. So I'm going to go through a few core things that you can sort of identify, as well as other things beyond core wounds that have to do with our subconscious programming. I want to let you know really quickly, I am doing a very in-depth training. I've tried to mention a couple times on here, but sometimes I forget until the very end. And it's 8 weeks long. It's live. It'll be in person. I'll actually be there with everybody there on camera. And each training session is 3.5 hours. And there's 3 months of follow-up webinars. And it is to become basically like, it's called an integrated attachment theory coach. It's the combination of learning all the subconscious principles for reprogramming combined with attachment theory principles that go beyond just traditional attachment theory, but include things like our unmet needs, our core wounds, our expectations, our emotional patterns, our relationship to our emotions, and like how to reprogram all these different things along with the boundaries and communication and really engage the subconscious in the process. So anyways, I'm running that. If you want to learn more about it, you can click on the link in the description box below, but it really engages a lot of these things we're talking about here in this video. So when you look at this, right, we've got these core wounds and we've got, okay, I will be betrayed is a huge core wound. If you've had trust issues in the past, that core wound is likely to be there because somebody broke your trust. It made you feel betrayed. And then you also may have other core wounds like I can't trust people to stay or I will be abandoned. I can't trust people to not pressure me or try to take advantage of me is a huge one, or expect too much from me. I can't expect people to truly see me or understand me. I can't trust people to truly see me or understand me. When we have those experiences in the past, these are going to be the things that fragment our set point for how much we trust people on a regular basis going into the future. And so if you have these wounds, it's not your fault if you're struggling to trust. It's simply a symptom of unresolved trauma that is subconsciously stored. And so the mind will project the past onto the present. Now, here's another thing that happens, though, that's really important. We then get into a situation where we adopt coping mechanisms to deal with a broken trust and past experiences. And when we don't change those internal coping mechanisms, it also becomes really hard to trust. An example of this is oftentimes when we couldn't trust people in our environment growing up, we learned that we should be boundaryless. We learned that, oh, well, then maybe if I can't trust, I will give up my sense of self and my own needs and try to just be hyper-focused on other people and try to read between the lines and figure out what's going on. And that way I can navigate my environment without having to trust. I can sort of see what may happen. I can tell by people's mood really quick what's going on, or their micro expressions or body language where they may go. And that will help me be able to trust myself to kind of read between the lines and adapt. And so sometimes we learn that if we get so hyper focused on other people, then it serves us at one point in time, but often that leads us to being out of touch with our own feelings in our own internal reality, out of touch with our own needs on a regular basis, and our boundaries fall by the wayside as a byproduct of all of that. So if we are boundaryless, we are always going to struggle to trust that people won't take advantage of us, because we're usually, when we're boundaryless, taking advantage of ourselves to please other people. And so this is an internal programming thing. We've learned and adapted or adopted a way of being, which is to give away our boundaries, not prioritize our feelings and needs. But then usually over time, when you don't speak up and say what you need, say what you want, set a boundary, then people don't know what they are. People are not always good mind readers. And so then by accident, they violate your boundaries, or they do take advantage of you because they didn't realize that your generosity was also a little bit rooted in fear, and wasn't just fully rooted in abundance. And this can happen a lot for people, especially more like fearful, avoidant, and anxious, preoccupied attachment style individuals. So you may have that component. You may have a shadow in the relationship to yourself, where you may be incongruent or inconsistent in what you say and how you show up and how you consider yourself when making decisions. And as long as we are that way within ourselves, we will project that out onto others, because that's what the subconscious mind also does. And if we see incongruency and inconsistency in others, we will be quick to notice it and to feel about it, because usually that was a coping mechanism. That hypervigilance was a coping mechanism that helped you through the course of life. So we have these main reasons in here that we struggle to trust, right? We've got number one, we have core wounds. We have these beliefs that will be betrayed. And we notice that our RAS tunes into that reticular activating system, hyper notices that, and filters out information otherwise, right? So we've got, I will be betrayed, or I'll be taken advantage of. There can be other versions of this too. Like, I don't trust people to see me, to not pressure me, these sorts of things. And then we have that if I am still boundaryless, then I will always end up getting taken advantage of to a certain degree, even by the kindest of people, not meaning to do so. And if I am not showing up to be consistent and congruent in the relationship to myself, following through on the things I say I'm going to do, then that will be a struggle. And if I'm not consistent about being able to show up and take myself into consideration in real time when making commitments, choices, notice my feelings, notice my needs, then I'm going to notice them when I'm hurt over them long after the fact. And that can create a lot of sort of pain points long term. So if this is you, if you're somebody who struggles with trust, just recognize these are just subconscious programs you adopted. They are not your fault. But there are things that you can actually work through and reprogram by becoming clear about them and how they work, and then doing that underlying work. And also, if you want a bunch of tools for actually reprogramming, check out our Repairing Broken Trust course. And at the very end of that course, it's all about repairing trust in the relationship to self. But the vast majority of the course is about repairing trust in your relationships to others. You can check it out for free for 7 days by clicking the link in the description box below. It will give you the reprogramming tools. And again, if you're interested in that training, check it out. That link is also down below. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.